The 401k, or as Grant Cardone calls it, a scam, which is false.
What an idiot!
But what is true is that nearly half of Americans have no retirement savings. So in this video, we'll look at 401k balances broken up by age group, how much they should have, and some calculations to see how much each group will have in retirement. And guys, remember, comparison is a thief of joy. That being said, let's compare our 401k balance to everyone else's.
Wait, what?
The main source of data we're using comes from Vanguard's 2024 How America Saves report. And the main source of my joy comes from all of you liking, subscribing, and commenting on this video. Starting with people 25 and younger with an average and median balance of $7,351 and $2,816 respectively, with a contribution rate of 8.9%. Honestly, not bad. I was expecting worse. For a traditional retirement, I recommend at least 10%. So while this is lower, at least it's something. And for that, we should celebrate. Okay, let's not celebrate that much. Much better. Let's say you're 25 and make $55,000 per year or $45.83 per month, which is the median salary here in the US. 8.9% of that is $48.95. Investing this amount every single year for 40 years with a starting balance of $28.16 and an annual rate of return of 7%, which accounts for inflation, gets us around $1 million by age 65. The 4% rule tells us we can withdraw $40,000 each year or $3,300 per month in retirement. Before taxes, of course. Now, the issue is $40,000 is 30% less than this person's pre-retirement income of $55,000. But if we factor in Social Security using the SSA's quick calculator here, we get another $1,800 per month for a total of $5,100. I know what you're gonna say. Oh, but $5,000 is gonna be worth like nothing in 2065. Hey.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
I didn't mean that. I just really like Wedding Crashers, and I feel like they don't make comedies like that anymore, right? Drop a comment with your favorite line from that movie, or really any comedy from the good days. Anyway, while these calculations are rough estimates, they do adjust for inflation at a rate of 3%. So while the stock market has returned over 10% in the last 50 years, we're using 7%. 10 minus 3 equals 7, and that's good math. Okay, cool. But how much should you have saved by 25? Well, according to Fidelity, you should have around half of your annual salary saved, in this case, $27,000, assuming you're making $55K per year. But here's the thing. You should strive for this number and not the average or median numbers from earlier. So TLDR, if you're in this age group, you're young, living at home, probably have no kids, or human kids, that is. Now is the time to make some big moves because time is your best friend when it comes to investing. And I'll prove it to you in just a second. All right, moving on to the 25 to 34-year-old group. If this is you, man, you are old. Just kidding. Hey, look at me. You look great.
You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
The average and median balance for this group are $37,557 and $14,933 with a contribution rate of 11%. These numbers make sense, right? They've been working and contributing longer than the previous group, and they likely make more money, which means more they can contribute to their 401k. Additionally, most 401k plans have a feature that automatically increases the amount you contribute each year. Although I think most people don't use it, probably because times are tough. The main thing to watch out for if you're in this group is lifestyle creep. This is around the age when people start having kids, want to buy a house, a car, the whole American dream thing. Ramit Sethi has the funniest clip for this. Let me pull it up for you guys.
And then, the minute you have a baby, what does every single parent in America do? We need a house and an SUV.
Right.
Why? Because our little infant that can't even move needs to run around.
Right.
I mean, he's right, and most people fall into traps like this. Hey, I just got a raise, I can afford a higher car payment. Or I can move into a bigger apartment with a nice view that I'll get bored of after a month. Essentially, as you make more money, you still spend all of it. Don't do that.
Stop it. Get some help.
While this age group likely makes more than the previous one, let's continue using the 55K salary so we can be ultra conservative here. So using the median number from earlier, 30-year investment period this time, same 7% return, but in an 11% contribution rate, which is 60/50, gets us around $600,000 by the time we're 65. Whoa, hold on. The last calculation was $1 million. Shouldn't this one be more? This is the power of investing early. The previous calculation was investing for 40 years, while this one is 30. Even with the starting balance, that's 4 times higher. Pretty crazy, right?
That's insane!
Again, there's a good chance that this group makes more money, which means their contribution rate could be higher, therefore making the balance in their 401k higher. Using the 4% rule, this person can withdraw $24,000 per year or $2,000 per month. With Social Security, that's $3,800. Now I know what you're thinking, but the 80% rule says that you should aim to have at least 80% of your pre-retirement income for retirement. $3,800 is 82% of this imaginary person's pre-retirement monthly income of $4,583.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Now, should you try to save more? Yes, but not because you'll have more money when you're in your 60s. In the book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, he talks about saving for the sake of saving, instead of saving for something specific. This is because having money in savings allows for more flexibility in your life. So if you decide to retire early or take a few years off of work, you can do it. At age 35, Fidelity recommends having double your annual income, approximately $110,000, assuming the same 55K salary. This kind of makes the numbers from this group a little concerning. But wait, it gets worse. The 35 to 44 group is very special because I am in this group. As you can see, minimal wrinkles, although my knee has been hurting a bit and my back. My wife said as long as I look good, she can deal with the whole mechanical issues, you know. So 91,281 and 35,537 for the average and median balances with a contribution rate of 11.3%. Now I've kept this from you until now, but I wanted you to see a few trends and get you thinking for yourselves. But why is the average so much higher than the median balances? Well, it's because some ultra high balance accounts are skewing or shifting these average balances much higher. This is why it's important to look at the median numbers in addition to averages to help paint a clearer picture. All right, some more numbers here. If we take the median balance from earlier, 20 years investment horizon, same 7% return, and an 11.3% contribution rate, which is 62.15, we get around $400,000. Things are going south. Hopefully by now it should be blatantly obvious that time and consistency are critical. The 4% rule and Social Security would give this person around $37,000 per year or $3,100 per month, only 68% of their pre-retirement income. But once again, this group is likely making more than $55K per year. And one thing this data does not take into account is other investment accounts these people may have, such as a Roth IRA or brokerage account. In other words, we may not be seeing the entire picture here. Lastly, the amount of Social Security you'll receive depends on a few factors: the age at which you take it, and how much money you make. TLDR, if this group makes more than 55K, they're likely contributing more to their 401ks and could receive more in Social Security. Again, we're just doing some rough estimates here. So by age 45, Fidelity recommends having 4 times your annual salary or $220,000 in this case. Pretty interesting how these numbers are unfolding, right? Even though the first group wasn't very close to what Fidelity recommended, they still did quite well. But as we got to the older folks, things took a turn.
Well, well, well. How the turntables.
Here's the thing. If you're in this group and you're behind, you still have plenty of time to change course. If you have high interest debt like credit cards, stop investing and pay them off ASAP, because the interest rate on credit cards averages 25% and ain't no way you're getting that kind of return on your investments. The only exception is if you get a 401k match through your employer, then invest enough to get the full match, because that could be an instant 100% return on your investment, and we like that. On to 45 to 54-year-olds with an average and median balance of $168,646 and $60,763 with a contribution rate of 11.9%. Statistically speaking, this is where most people's salaries peak, which makes sense because as you gain more experience, companies are willing to pay top dollar for you. Assuming you're 55 and plan to retire at 65, you're looking at around $200,000. 4% of that and Social Security puts that person at $29,000 per year or $2,400 per month, only 53% of their pre-retirement income. Hey, look at me. Zoom in. More. There's still hope.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
If you're 50 years or older, the IRS allows you to make what's called catch-up contributions. This is different than ketchup, the condiment, but both are essential. So for example, in 2025, you're able to contribute $23,500 to your 401k, 403b, all these retirement accounts here. But if you're age 50 or older, you can do an extra $7,500. Now let's be real. If someone tells you to invest $31,000, even though you make $55,000, which is 56% of your income, tell them that I told you to tell them to
Go
yourself, San Diego.
Then tell them to subscribe to this channel because they might need it more than you. You should probably get new friends while you're at it. But not me though, I have too many friends. Here's some more realistic advice. If you don't know exactly where your money is going each month, that needs to stop. Create a simple spreadsheet, write down all of your essential monthly expenses, and subtract it from your income. Invest as much of that as possible. If there's nothing left after this math, focus on reducing your top 3 expenses first and work your way down from there. Top 3 expenses are usually housing, transportation, and food. Then it's time to pick up a side hustle. Delivering food, walking dogs, making videos on the internet, there's a really good chance that you have some skills that you can monetize. So by age 55, Fidelity recommends saving 7 times your annual income, or in this case, $385,000. All right, 55 to 64-year-olds have an average and median balance of $244,750 and $87,571 with a contribution rate of 13.2%. We can see that the contribution rate jumps up a bit, right? As humans, we tend to procrastinate, so people are likely realizing, among other things, shit, I need to retire. Assuming you're 65 and plan to retire now with a median balance of $87,000, I don't see how that's possible. Even with Social Security, you're looking at around $2,000 per month or 45% of your pre-retirement income. Not a great situation to be in, and it hurts to see these numbers. You can move to a low-cost country, or if you own a home, you can sell it and downsize to a cheaper location. There are also options like a reverse mortgage, but this assumes you own a home. However, most people simply have to continue working even if it's part-time. But hey, if you love your job, great. Keep living the dream. But odds are, if you're watching this, you're on the younger side and you still have time. Let's start building good habits. Let's actively manage our money. Let's get rid of credit card debt. Let's ask for a raise or job hop, pick up a side hustle, and learn new skills. But most importantly, get your Roth IRA set up and funded and get some free stocks while you're at it.